Hey everybody, Matthew here, your host, with another episode of MEB Pod. It is episode 6. Today we are going to focus. Today it's going to be a shorter episode. It's been kind of a little hectic few days, I guess, more or less. So I wasn't well prepared, but I still gotta get it out there and speak my mind and talk and let you know about, of course it's going to be a very similar to that last couple episodes, with the hole-in-one, your double bogey. Of course we're going to talk a little golf, a little baseball, a little football, a little basketball, the whole thing, and just go over a few things that have gone over this past week. I am posting this a little later than expected, but that's due to the fact that I help out a little too more than I should sometimes, which gets a little frustrating, which kind of brings me into my double bogey. Today my double bogey is unfortunately I feel sometimes that there is some, what's the word I'm looking for, favoritism, I guess, used in some environments that maybe should not be, and maybe the professional environment for that matter. I'm a little annoyed by it, more or less. There's nothing I can do to control it, which I've accepted that, which is fine. But when you go out of your way to do things for certain people in certain professions, and you're working all day, every day for a place, and you always are there to help out, and you show teamwork and you prove to people, and unfortunately, they decide to choose certain people who haven't put in the work or whatever, and they use an excuse. It's like, oh, they are happy with people's performance, and it's, yes, I completely agree and understand that performance comes first in my industry, but there are people that have worked there for years and years and years, and have performed to the same level of this performance. It's just when people have favorites, and I don't really want to get into it too much, but it's a little frustrating, and people don't understand that, and it's something I can't control, which is fine, but and all of a sudden the rules start changing because people get a little power hungry and a little, and it's a little frustrating, because at the end of the day, we all put in the work and the hard, to work as a team, and it's super frustrating, and people, and I know that for the listeners that don't really understand the whole story behind it, maybe eventually I'll get into it one day, but right now it's just one of the most frustrating things in the world. I'm trying to cope with it and deal with it. It's just something I cannot change. They say in the serenity prayer, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. It is one of the big things I try to live by, but it's when I see it happening, and week in and week out at the place I'm referring to, it's a little frustrating. And I speak up and say something about how I believe it's wrong, and all they can say is, oh, well, it's not your decision, it's mine, I'm the one that runs the show, this is my it's like, and that's fine, but I believe that we all should have a say in it, and instead of getting scrutinized and saying that we're wrong and this and that, like, it's a little frustrating to the way people approach it, and and it's always put down on me when I speak up. So it's like, why do I even try to speak up anymore. Like, what's the point? And another thing on that, it's like, if people are rewarded for working 1 day a week for 6 months, why do I try at work? Like, why do I try to help out with the team? Why do I pick up shifts when not needed? When needed, why do I help my teammates out? Like, why do I do things? If you're gonna get rewarded with not doing anything, for only working a day a week, why shouldn't I just work 1 day a week? Or why shouldn't I just not help out when needed? Why should I do any more work than I should if I'm gonna get rewarded for it? That's kind of where I'm getting at. It's like, what's the point of even trying to help out when you get rewarded anyways? You get more rewards for not doing the work than doing the work. To me, it just makes no sense. It's like, maybe I was raised in a family where you try to put hard work first and do your best, and you eventually everything will work itself out. But when you see the clear as day that the less work you put in, the more reward you get, it's like very demotivating. And why am I doing all this work? Like, and I know I shouldn't live like that, but I know I won't. I'm gonna continue living the way I was raised and doing all the hard work and continue working hard for what I deserve. But at the same time, it's a little demotivating, not just to me, but to the whole team I work with. It's like, why do we do what we do on a daily basis? Some of us 7 days a week, some of us 5-6 days a week, but rewards are handed to the people who work 1 day a week. It's a little frustrating, but I'm not gonna get, like I said, too far into the topic just because it is double bogey, and I'm not a fan of double bogeys. So double bogeys we try to stay away from. So we always try to stay close to the hole and get to the hole-in-ones. And so with the hole-in-one, I'm gonna move forward just because I want to try to move on something positive, a little more positive. We do have my reels are coming along very well. I do enjoy doing them. That is one thing I'm progressing in and looking forward to continue. So I hope that the listener is following me on this on the reels. I'm doing at least 3 a day right now. I started with 1 or 2 a day, or 1 a day, I guess, and now I'm doing 3 a day, which is nice. Tried to go from like 8 noon and 11:30 midnight, and post them throughout the day. Really enjoy doing them, so that is kind of the big thing that's been going on this week, with the social media content thing. It's been going really well, having a great time with it, so always look forward to, either the filming part or the posting or the reactions I get or whatever it might be. It's just, at the end of the day, I'm having fun doing it and I'm loving it. So, that'll be by hole-in-one today, for the week. A lot of things happen in the sports world today. But like every episode, I try to start off with a quote, and that's kind of tied in with the double bogey. Like, I know I said I don't want to sit your near to it too far, but it was J.K. Rowling, author of Harry Potter, said in The Goblet of Fire, it said, if you want to know what a man's like, take a good look at how he treats his inferiors, not his equals. So the people that are below him, it's like, I think about it, it's like, how do how does a man treat the people below them, not their equals? So I heard that quote and it kind of just was very relatable to kind of what's going on in my life right now. It's like, I see this clear as day, and it's like, how do I react to this? What's the best way to do it? And I guess I reacted wrong again, by opening up my mouth and sticking up for my team, and not my team, but our team, and I guess, like I said, I'm gonna move forward with that. But like, when you see things like this, it's hard not to speak up, and I know some people can just say it is what it is, or they'll let it go, or whatever. It's like, yeah, but there comes a point when you can only let it go for so long, So there's a little J.K. Rowling action on there for you. Anyways, we'll get on with the podcast. It might be a shorter episode today, just because I don't have much time. Like I said, I'm working hard for the man, and it's not paying off too well, so I'm gonna get back to this, and hopefully next week it'll be back to like an hour long. I do have, still a little time on this one left, of course. So like I mentioned last week, we were going to be announcing the Rookie of the Year, Manager of the Year, Cy Young, and the MVP of the baseball 2024 season last year. So they have yet to. Yesterday, they announced the Rookies of the Year in the NL. I was correct, and Paul Skeens did get the vote for the NL's Rookie of the Year. So congratulations to Paul Skeens. And of course, Livy Dunn was there to celebrate with him. And then in the AL, you've got New York Yankees pitcher Luis Gil. Congrats to him. I was a bit surprised there, to be honest, just because, yes, he did have a very, very strong start to the season. Struggled a bit there in the middle, and then I guess kind of ended up getting moved to the bullpen in the postseason. But at the end of the year, probably was the best rookie of the year. Later today, they are going to be announcing the managers of the year. Tomorrow they've got the Cy Youngs, and the following day they're going to be doing the MVP. So looking forward to seeing who they announce as the winners. I'm sure next week's podcast we'll be focusing on, or not focusing on, but at least mentioning the awards that were given these next couple of days. So we'll go over into a little more detail next week with that. Of course, we had a very big week 11 recap in the NFL. The Chiefs could finally go down. The Bills give them their first loss of the season, which kind of leads you into the 1972 Dolphins being able to pop some champagne. Being down here in Miami, I did see I'm sure they reported throughout all of the United States, but they were celebrating down here in Miami. I saw Larry Sonka popped a bottle of champagne to celebrate being the only undefeated team to ever finish a year. So congrats to the Bills, of course, and then the 1972 Dolphins keeping their record alive. And then you do have, to follow that up, the Dolphins did end up getting a win against the Raiders this week, 34-19, which is a big win for the Dolphins. It's good to have Tua back healthy again. Looking very promising for the Dolphins. Only if he was still healthy throughout the year, where would they be? Who knows? But they are playing much better with them, of course. The Packers and the Bears. The Packers beat the Bears by a blocked field goal. So that's 2 weeks in a row with a game-winning blocked field goal to end the game. I think that was 2019. Great finish. The Lions absolutely destroyed the Jaguars. Rams beat the Pats. Saints beat the Browns. Steelers and Ravens, obviously division rivalry, one of the biggest rivalries in the NFL. Great game. Steelers took the W without even getting in the end zone, which is pretty wild. Not one touchdown scored by the Patriots, the Steelers, and still got the W. So good for the Steelers. Vikings beat the Titans. Colts over the Jets. Broncos absolutely dominated the Falcons. So Bo Nix is looking pretty strong in Denver. Seahawks did surprise the 49ers. I was a little caught off there. We'll get more into that in just a minute. But Texans dominate the Cowboys last night. Yeah, man, it's America's team is no more. They are just blew their season up. I know Dak's not healthy, and there's a lot of things going on down there in Dallas. But it is odd to see them have only 3 wins this year and 7 losses. So there's your week 11 recap of the NFL. We did have a couple of college football games that were pretty interesting. Georgia took down Tennessee. That was, hosted. Game day was hosted in Knoxville. Oregon barely held on, still undefeated, to Wisconsin. A little college basketball. You had, of course, that Kentucky-Duke game that I mentioned last week that I watched. Kentucky ended up taking down Duke. Cooper Flagg only put up, I don't remember how many points, but it was exciting to watch him play finally. We did have the NBA. Cavaliers are still undefeated, 15-0, which comes to quite a surprise. Yes, I know they've had a somewhat easy beginning of the year schedule. But at the end of the day, 15-0 in any professional sports league is pretty great. I don't care who they're playing. They're playing against an NBA team, a professional NBA team. These guys are the best of the best. So they still tend to go undefeated. Again, we're gonna move on to my parlays of the week. Again, I know these episodes have been 45 minutes to an hour long, so I'm sure not everyone wants to dive right into it and listen to an hour's episode. I get it, So eventually, maybe one day, these people will be listening in. Some people will be listening in, and I will continue to mention it. If there are any listeners and you want to get involved in the podcast, or I'm doing a parlay every week. I'm going to do one for myself, one for the guests that I have on potentially, or even just a random viewer or that direct messages me with their parlay. 3 to 5 games, send me your parlay. If it hits, I will send you some merchandise, whether it's a hat, a shirt, whatever it might be. Now, with that being said, of course, I mentioned my parlay last week. I did pick a 5-game parlay. 4 of them hit. 49ers ended up losing, so I missed on that parlay, which is fine. But of course, I made another parlay. No one sent me one in. I made another parlay for myself, and again, no one sent a one in to me just because I don't think I really have any listeners. Which is, like I said, I get it. No one wants to tune in to listen into somebody they don't really know, or for an hour's long episode. I get it. I mean, the reason I listen to hour-long podcasts is because I find a niche. Like, for example, the foreplay guys at the Barstool. I think they're absolutely great. I've gotten hooked on all their YouTube content. With it being a golf channel, it's pretty great to listen to. Always have a good thing to say. Some good stuff to talk about with golf, and just the camaraderie that the 3 guys have on there is just great to listen to. Hopefully one day I will be able to find something like that with somebody or someone or a group or whatever it might be. So like I said, if anyone is listening, send me your parlay for next week. I'll be happy to tag you and mention or give you a shout out on the podcast and let you get a chance to win some merchandise. So moving forward with that, I'm going to move to my parlay. Of course, this is, I think, I don't want to say a lock, but I think the Chiefs are out over the Panthers, Lions over the Colts, Buccaneers over the Giants, Texans over the Titans, and Vikings over the Bears. So I got a 5-game parlay, all favorites. Should hit. Now, we know the NFL is a tough game to hit, to bet on, but we'll see. Looking forward to it. And hopefully maybe next week I'll get it later. I'll get it next week. I'll be able to show you some merchandise, show you the hat, show you the shirt. Maybe you'll be able to see what you actually have an opportunity to win. I know it's not much, but it is a way to try to get someone involved into this. I know people have said, let me get on your podcast. Let me help out. Let me do this, but no one follows through. So if anyone is actually serious, I am definitely taking some serious inquiries to be able to assist with this. I love doing it. I'm having a great time doing it. But everyone says, I support, I'm all ears for hearing that support. But that people want to be on it, but they just, I get it. Life comes up, things happen. You can't really make time for this every day, and this is, but whatever. I mean, eventually we'll get there, and we're moving forward with it. So, like I said, those are kind of my parlays for my parlays. That is my parlay of the week. We are gonna move on a little bit. Obviously, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fought this last Friday on Netflix. Now, I know Netflix had a very big issue with the buffering situation. I was able to catch the last, 5 rounds of it or whatever. I really had no issues. I think they had fixed the issue to an extent. I know I saw that a lot of people on social media were complaining about how Netflix sucks and Netflix this and Netflix whatever, but at the end of the day, it really wasn't the best fight to begin with. I get it; it was a highly anticipated boxing match. Not the biggest boxing follower, but with it being Tyson being 68 years old or however old, 58 years old or however old he is, against the Jake Paul, young YouTube content creator superstar now. I had to tune in and watch the last couple of rounds. It was a little boring. I know I've heard all the feedback from people who actually do follow the sport. Was not the best fight, but people got to realize that fight was probably not about the actual fight. It probably was about money. I feel like everything is about money nowadays. Everyone is money hungry, money driven, which I get. It is an important part of life is to earn a living. So with that being said, I think that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson were really just out for the money. They're obviously freak athletes. Obviously Jake Paul has gone from what he was at Disney to what he is today, and it wasn't money that did that to him. It was hard work and dedication, and which I respect. And Tyson's obviously was the world heavyweight champion for I don't know how many years or whatever, but like I said, I'm not the biggest follower of the sport of boxing, but it was an interesting thing to see, so it was definitely fun to watch for a few little rounds that I was able to catch, and Netflix, obviously you're going to be hosting some NFL games here in the winter, in the weeks coming up. Hopefully you're able to get the buffering situation figured out. I know you should be able to figure it out just because Netflix has a ton of money and a ton of guys working on it. I'm sure it's already fixed by now. It's probably fixed before the fight even ended. They will have that. I'm sure they'll have it ready before the NFL game starts to air on Netflix. Of course, another sport that I'm not the biggest follower of, but I did tune in just because it was, I didn't tune in because it was pay-per-view, but I saw the highlights of it. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm tired. But we did have a good old John Bones Jones, the UFC heavyweight champion right now, at Madison Square Garden on UFC 309. Knocked out, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, but it seemed like a pretty interesting fight. I know a lot of people got tuned in and watched it. But my favorite part about the whole fight was, of course, you can't, obviously, what's his name? Dana White is pretty good friends with your boy Donald Trump. Donald Trump did show up in attendance, and then John Bone Jones knocked out his opponent, gave Trump the look, the finger pointed at Trump, and he started doing the Trump dance, and that was pretty comical. Obviously, there are a lot of Trump supporters, I'm sure, at a UFC fight, let alone in New York. So that was pretty cool to see, our 47th president enjoying a UFC fight before he hops back in the White House. I'm sure when he's in the White House, he'll be attending events like that as well. Because not that I know Trump very well, but I'm sure from what I've seen in the past, 8 to 10 years of him being Trump, he will be attending most UFC events just because his buddy, Dana White's the guy, the promoter, the GOAT, so that should be a fun, that was really funny to see him, John Bone Jones, get involved with Trump and doing the little dance, and that dance just, and I get it, he's our future president. Trump can be a little out there sometimes, and but his little dance went viral on my For You page on TikTok and Instagram and all that. It's just all these people are going out there doing the dance and the YMCA, and then his little golf swing, and the guy's just pure I think he's just a real human being, and that's what I like to see in the future of the United States and being the leader of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Trump can do for us. But anyways, we'll move on from that. We do have a little bit of golf news. I was able to, obviously, like I mentioned earlier, post some more content, more reels, and all my social medias, so Instagram, my TikTok, my YouTube, my Twitter, or my X. What else? I guess that's it. So tune in. Hopefully you're tuning into those. We also had Rory McIlroy did win the DP Tour, which was cool to see him playing great again. You know, playing being Rory. The Bryan Bros. I don't know if you do follow, but if you don't, I would recommend following them on their YouTube page or their Instagram or any of their social medias. It's Wesley and George Bryan. They're brothers. They're golfers from South Carolina. They're great to watch on YouTube. Now, of course, they are not just content creators, they are professional golfers as well. Wesley Bryan actually broke a course record, shooting, I think 61 it was, over at the Bermuda whatever tournament this past weekend. Best round for him, and best round in the tournament's history, or the course's history. Now, he is, this is probably the most amazing thing about it. Yes, he makes a lot of money on his little content creating page. He loves doing it. That's like what his favorite, he actually has an opportunity now to secure his PGA Tour card. I wonder if he will. It is just amazing to me, going from playing in the Content Creator Classic, 5 months ago, whatever that was, to now being able to potentially earn his PGA Tour card here within the next weekend over at the RSM tournament here in next weekend, I believe. I just think that would be an incredible feat. I hope the best for him. I do enjoy watching their content when he plays around with the good, the foreplay, and the Bob Does Sports, all these other content creators. They do a really good job with, creating content. I mean, it's as simple as that. I know it sounds a little, it is difficult. I know from experience, this stuff is not easy. It's not cheap. It's fun, and I get why people do it now. I know people, like myself, used to kind of, I don't want to say dog on people that create content. Maybe it's stuff that like I can't relate to, but when I found these pages of golf related content, I was able to relate to it and enjoy it. So now I'm kind of doing this, and we're working on it and getting better at it. So I'm kind of rooting for him now. Wesley Bryan might be one of my new favorites to follow. Of course, just because I kind of followed him on his content stuff. So hopefully we could see him get on the tour and win some tournaments next year. Of course, then you do have one of my favorite PGA players. I did see on a post on social media a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, I guess. Sahith Theegala. He's one of my favorite golfers out there on the PGA Tour. I don't know why. He's just always had a really good aura about him, really good vibe. Always cheerful. Never been the biggest winner on the PGA Tour, never been the biggest, name or whatever, but he's still a young kid and up and coming and looking real like he's got some potential to be the real deal. I saw that he gifted his caddy a $50,000 Rolex for his hard work and dedication he's put to Sahith in his 2024 season, which, like I said, Sahith is not a Scotty Scheffler or Rory McIlroy or one of these guys. Yes, he does make a lot of money because he's a professional golfer. He does okay for a living, but the fact that he thought of his caddy that he tips out on every tournament winnings still gives him a $50,000 watch. It just shows that the guy really cares and wants his caddy to stay motivated to continue to get better, and hopefully that shows on the course next season too. I would love to see a major winner in Sahith Theegala one of these days. but he was on the President's Cup team. So I mean, he's obviously not like that small of a name, but he's doing. I'm excited to see what he does this year. So that's kind of it on my golf little thing there. Just a few things. I mean, that's really more or less it I got for this episode. Like I said, it is going to be a short episode. I mean, you could always obviously tune into all my social media content stuff, my little reels I'm having fun with. We had oh yeah, I'm tired. I'm so sorry. I made a couple other things. Obviously, the going to do things like hopefully I'll be able to get out and play some golf. Well, no, of course not. I can't because I'm busy this week. I was trying to get out to play golf this week, but of course like I mentioned earlier in the episode, I'm trying to focus on doing the right thing, and that's why I'm always happy to help out my team. But when people don't, and I don't want like the material things, the money, the cars, the clothes, the whatever, but I help out my team because I care, and not because I don't know, I just lost my train of thought. I'm just drawing blanks right now. But it's been a little obnoxious week, but I'm here. I gotta work every day now, which is a little frustrating, but because I can't get a day off to go play some golf, that's why this week's episode is gonna be a little shorter. So maybe I just need to, maybe I need to do some little meditation or something, because sometimes people, act as if they're right. Like I said, I went back to it earlier, the power hungry, and I get it. If I was in a position, maybe I might feel the same way, but I'm not, and I gotta accept it. But it is a little frustrating, and I want people to realize that life's not fair, and I've got to accept that, and it's just when. It's just, I don't know, I'm losing my train of thought. I'm just out of it right now. But like I said, today's going to be a very short episode just because I don't have enough time due to work. I haven't had enough time to get ready or do any of this stuff, so or get any kind of like little script or outline of this week's episode. So those are some of the few things that I wanted to mention with the little golf, NFL, basketball, college basketball, college football, the awards. I'm excited to watch the awards tonight, or not watch them because I'm going to be at work, but I'm excited to see who the winners for the following couple days are. Looking forward to Thanksgiving here next week. Unfortunately, I'm sure I'll be at work from 7 a.m. till 11:30 at night or whatever it might be, because that's how, what I do is I help the team out when needed. I don't need to work, 24 or 18 hours that day, but, unfortunately, when help is needed and they call, I answer, and I don't know, that's one thing I don't get. It's like when these other people who only work, for 7 hours do not, and then, as opposed to 18 hours, get rewarded. It's like, well, that doesn't make any sense to me. I guess it makes me think that my performance is not as strong as the person who works one day a week, or it makes my team, or our team that I work with, feel the same way. So it's like, if they had a legitimate excuse and told us this, then maybe I would be more upfront to listening to them. But when they just say, "Oh, because this is who we chose and this is what we want," and I'm like, that's what bugs me. It's like I just need to be here more upfront, but they don't want to tell me because they're too nice, and I get it, but it's not fair to everyone else, and it's a little annoying. Anyways, I'm gonna get off this little podcast here today. I know it was a little out there and a little all over the place, but I did want to at least get something out there this week just because I was running late. So it's going to be only about 35 minutes, which is fine. I'm happy with it. I am going to be posting more content later today, and of course for the rest of the week. So please tune in. This was episode 6, Focus, No Fear. Again, like I said, I do like to repeat the little quote. If you know If you really want to know what a man's like, take a good look at how he treats his inferiors, not his equals. Like, that is what J.K. Rowling said. I'm definitely taking that to heart right now because I know the things I'm going through with my personal life. Well, not personal, like professional too. But anyways, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you guys will listen. Again, send me your parlays for next week. Hopefully I'll be in a better mood hopefully I have some more time and I'm happier to create like more of a script or an outline to where I can make this sound better and look better, and hopefully that's another thing that I thought of. Hopefully in the following weeks I'm able to start editing in more things to this and editing out my and my and because I know with the reels I'm much better at it because I'm able to edit those little pauses out. So this is kind of all raw footage, and I'm going with it until I can figure out how to do all that with the editing tools, things that I have here. So well, thank you very much for listening. I wish you the best of luck with the following week, and hopefully you can tune in next week. Okay, thank you.